was. I was like 1.5 minutes late or something. Yeah. Yeah. But I'm here now. I'm here now. What's up, Tog? Good to see you. A little intro music. I don't know what that was. It's just whatever I was thinking of at that moment off the top of my head. Play a little bit here. Well, if I'll stream too late, anybody comes by. Oh yeah, well it is. Yeah, I just got off of work, so get off the bus, come back here, and hang out for a little bit while I wind down. Yeah, it's 11:48 p.m. here. Oh, thank you, thank you. I was talking with a new friend, Mikey. I guess I met through Pop Culture Curator last night. We're talking about trying to do some sessions on here. He does percussion. Drinking? Yeah, I got a couple of brews. I got one of these Tiki Fusion again, which is 10%er, and I got a Mickey to bring it down with. I don't know. Feeling so inspired. Yeah, just play a couple tunes, you know. I don't know. What was the other one I was thinking of before I got? Oh yeah, yeah. I've done this one in a while. Remember all the parts. I just know the intro. Sounds better on electric. Yeah, that E still sounds a little wonky on me. Twitter, Mikey Famine, what's up? Good to see you. My Twitter, let's see. Do I have? It should be at Trusty Ape Co. Did I change it to Trusty Ape Co? I think that's it. I'm all damn it. Yeah, or can you send it to my Facebook? Did you have me on Facebook? Chevin Chaos. Let me see if I can post it up here without getting booted. If I use Twitter app. Oh, you did find it. All right. And I did not get kicked out, so that worked. See, I always get worried I'm gonna Oh no, it's that Ape Trusty. Okay, didn't change that one over yet. Always where I'm gonna boot it out of these streams. If I do that, just depends on what application you try to open. Uh-oh. Got some sticky ickies going on here. My vapor's getting clogged. Yeah, well, since I'm going from mobile, I might be able to look at it, but I don't know if I'll be able to share or anything. That's it. I don't see it in there. You might be on my other one, which I don't have access to on my mobile. I think I only have access to on my tablet, which isn't with me right now. So, but I will. I usually try to. I haven't done it in a while, but usually I try to check all my Twitter stuff on stream on Monday. But I've been neglecting it. Yeah, come on in. See what you got. The lines are now open. Alexandra Alexandra Myers is live. That's kind of weird. That's kind of off. See, I'm trying to play like a bit off of it. See, I like kind of like weird. Oh, shit, like that. Oh, Mikey in the back. Mikey's in the back. Get you in here.
Yo.
What's up, man?
How's it going?
Right, how you doing?
Good. Yeah, I heard you playing guitar, and I was like, oh, I gotta send him this guitar song I did. So, do you want to hear it?
Yeah, I'd love to hear it. I'm just trying to get the new stuff.
Okay.
Have you done any jams with people online? That work? What's up?
No.
No. I've passed some tracks back and forth, but as far as like actually open jamming like on a live stream, I'm like, seems to be like a time delay a lot of the time. You know, it's just a little bit too much for. You have to have a really good connection.
Yeah, there's people claiming that they have products that do it now, and I'm just like, that's just not how the internet works. There's going to be a lag. Like you can't not have the lag. There's no way. Like, unless you guys
I
are
feel
all
like
on the
there's
same.
probably a way you can bypass and just get the straight audio and get like close enough, but the video is probably still gonna have the lags. You just got to rely on pure sound.
It's just too much information. It's too much information for it to not be a lag. Unless you want it at like 240p.
Right. Yeah, some crazy capacity.
You gotta accept the screen share.
Where are we? Okay, there it is. For some reason, it didn't ping.
There we go.
Okay, there we go.
Ta-da!
That's crazy. So what program are you using first of all when you're
Oh,
producing this?
That's Studio One.
Studio One. All right. Did
Yeah.
you have to pay for that, or is that a?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think they have a light version. But,
All right. Are you
yeah, I've
able
been
to
using them
plug
for a
your
while.
instruments like directly into that, or do you have like an interface type deal
Yeah.
going on?
Yeah, I have an interface that goes right into that. Yeah.
Nice, nice.
It's the Presonus. Like I got like the Presonus like bundle, and it had like the interface, the condenser mics, some reference headphones, a couple of cables, and the software. And that was like back at version 2, and now they're up to version 6. So they have like a monthly thing you can do, which is pretty sweet.
Oh, so you could just like download the upgrade.
Yeah, like you can like like if you know you're not gonna be making music for a while, you don't
Yeah,
have
just
to
stick with the
renew it
old
that
one.
month. You can just like just chill with the what I'm saying, chill with the demo for a minute. If you're not if
Yeah.
you
Well, I had
but
that too, where like with Pro Tools, I remember they had that where there was like a software upgrade, but I didn't like it, so I stuck with the classic version that I bought because it was like you had to like relearn a bunch of stuff, and I was like, nah, I don't need all that, you know.
I could never afford Pro Tools or get a clean version. I don't know how many viruses I got from fucking BearShare trying to get a damn decent copy of fucking Pro Tools.
So like the program that I use is called Mixcraft 9. And I believe the Pro um upgrade is up for like on sale right now for like $79. I don't know if that's already because it's like I'm already a user, but I already have that. I just know they're throwing the promo out, but it's pretty cheap and like it can do a lot of things and has a lot of pre-recordings in with it. Um, and that's what I use. I've been trying to play with it a little bit more to learn because I kind of got into the thing for music, but I'm at like a very rookie level when it comes to
Gotta come hang
music.
out. Gotta come hang out on my streams, man. Mondays and Fridays.
Shit, I
I
might
make beats
just.
on Mondays and Fridays, even if I don't
Yes.
feel like it.
I'm definitely gonna subscribe then, cause yeah, I heard that. That was very lovely.
Thanks.
I enjoyed that.
Everyone's
I find
relaxing
doing
and
stuff like
vibing. I heard
that, doing
guitar.
more intricate layering, like that's definitely going to get you better with using whatever program you're using. And then you find out like what levels, you know, like what volume levels with can be
Dynamics.
tolerated. Like, because you have to have that basic track, whatever it is, your rhythm track, you know, that's kind of like keeping the backbone of the song, and then you kind of have to be able to nuance, you know, and layer everything over that, and so you're not drowning the other sounds out, you know, and that's really what, like, whatever medium you're using, that's the art of recording, to where you can do like, you know, 16 tracks or something on there, and they're not like all blending together.
Yeah, and aside from even like the DAW or the studio, whatever you're using, aside from that, the song itself, you have to leave space in your songs. Like you have to like I hate like listening to like I hate to say it, young people. I hate listening there's no space in their music. It's just noise the whole time. I'm like, there's not one rest in the whole song. Like it's just constant just space, damn it. Get a groove or something. Have some sort of bop or feel to yours. It's like just straight noise from beginning to end. It's like you got to do something better than that. Be creative, damn it.
Yeah,
Yeah, right.
what gets me is like really repetitive beats, because a lot of, you know, a lot of the hip hop has that, a lot of the house music, and it's just like, dude, like I noticed like there's not a change or a fill in the beat for like a full 2 minutes, sometimes the whole song, like, and the best they'll do is like, okay, drop the beat for like 2.5 seconds, you know, that's about it.
It's but that's not the medium for that. It's all about the bass. No one gives a shit about the drums. No one is listening to that fucking bass kick and snare drum. No one cares. That's why they rattle it up, fucking put fucking phasers on it. No one cares. They're all about the bass. And again, you got to have that space. Like if they had complicated beats, they couldn't do all that bass shit that they like to do. All the growls and shit. Oh my god. Cannot wait to learn
Right.
how to make those.
Yeah, I think that's all a matter of like, you just have to have like a trigger hooked up to it, right? Like if that trigger just, anytime you hit that bass, it's gonna have like an effect that automatically reacts to that. We played with a band when we played at the Whiskey Go Go, and the drummer was using drum triggers, and it was tripping me out because I was watching him the whole time, and I was like, this dude's like really intense. But when he would hit
Oh
his
yeah.
kick, he would hit his kick, and at that certain time, and you could see when he would reach over and touch his pedal, and then all of a sudden, like you're like, oh yeah, that's like really really prevalent. Like I'm sure it sounds great on the recording, but like out here, you could totally tell that's like automated. Like
Yeah, with everybody else going, it's probably less noticeable. I used to always do the sound check for the drummer.
yeah. I was known back in the day, before I blew my freaking eardrum out. I would regularly do the sound for the bands, like in lieu of the sound guy, because I would walk over and I would be like, oh, adjust this and tweak this. And he'd be like, you know what, dude? Why don't you just go ahead? And I'd be like, okay. And then I ended up doing the sound for the night. The sound guy would just get, the night off, basically. He'd just stand there and watch me.
Yeah, luckily I never had to run sound at any of my shows.
Oh yeah, no, I got started out that way because we started out playing like, house parties and, playing in the garage. It'd be like, okay, you've got no PA, you've got the guitar, the amps, and the mic, and I had a mixer, like a 4-channel mixer
Yeah.
that I bought for like $80,
The
and then I would
Behringer.
plug into an old drum amp that was donated to the band, and I would run, like a four-piece band off of that thing. I'd be like, nope, I mic up your drum kit. I'd plug in, the main vocal mic and the backup vocal mic. It'd be like, you get what you get, man. Like, but I made it
This is
work,
that.
for several shows. So started out, really, really like, primitive with the sound, and then like, so anytime I get my hands on good equipment, I'd be like, oh yeah, all right, cool.
Ugh, I do not miss the like. It was fun doing that shit, but oh god, dude, practicing at a storage facility and hauling that shit all over the fucking creation. Oh my god, shit was awful. It was fun, but that was awful.
That takes a lot out of you. Like
God.
I when people say you don't have to have work ethic to be a musician, I'm like, yeah, try
Yeah,
actually
try it.
living it.
Yeah, yeah. Work your 48 hours, and then balls tired. Go load up the fucking drum set, 3 billion-pound bass amp, and all that shit. Load it up. Go play a show, and then get your ass back home because you got to go to sleep because you got to open tomorrow. Like, shut up.
Try to do that just getting home to practice. I'm like, I'm gonna practice today. I get home, I like maybe one tune, and that's maybe it. Like that's it. 5 minutes of practice. That's what it takes, right? That's all that matters, though. As long as you get it in, 5 seconds are gold, right?
Right.
Oh, I hear quiet. Sorry, I'm over here. I'm rolling up a doobie, so let me see. Maybe I can put this.
Yeah, I think my little one is waking up here,
Oh,
so it might be bottle time.
Oh, that's cute. I'm gonna have a baby soon.
Congrats.
It's my third one, but yeah.
Congrats. 3 congrats.
Yeah, right.
I love it.
Yeah, it's a fucking blast. It's one of the best things since parenthood. Stressful at times, but that's the best part. Oh my fucking god, it's Sterling.
Yo, what's up, Todd? What's up, 8?
Not much. Howdy.
The return of Sterling. Sterling, I tried to tag you in the video last night and I could not I could not figure. Yeah, I couldn't figure that out. But yeah, if you have like a thing, I don't know, put it in the chat so I put it
Yeah,
out there.
I don't
Yeah.
really stream or go live or anything. I just kind of like jump on other people's like tags and yours and bother you guys. And I'm sorry, I don't believe I know. Is it Mikey? I'm not sure if I know Mikey.
Hello.
What's up?
I was just on my way out, so I was keeping this seat warm for you, but it seems you have arrived.
Well, thank you.
I gotta go feed the little one.
Cheers.
Later, guys.
Take care. Thank you for the good music.
Yeah. Thanks for coming by, Mikey. Good
I saw-
talking to you, man.
I saw Tog was drinking. I said, "Oh shit, we got a party."
Yeah.
Oh, snap. Yeah, I'm actually drinking some fucking moonshine right now.
Oh shit.
Tennessee. Not off. It's some store bought. It's not authentic moonshine. So yeah,
Okay.
I wish it was authentic, but yeah, I don't have the cash flow for that shit. That's like $100 a fucking mason jar. For those, sometimes 200. That shit gets expensive. I'd rather get the legal bootleg.
Talk belated congratulations on your little. Well, I think I said it before, but for tonight, yeah. Congratulations! I'll take a drink for your little one. Hopefully, they're not
sweet.
drinking for some time though.
Yeah, hopefully. I mean, 21 years or so, at least 16.
Oh, what happened?
Tog's gonna have a baby, man.
Really?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, like 2-3 months, God willing, whatever.
Nice, dude. Nice.
I'm ecstatic. Can't wait.
I can tell. Let's get this party going.
That's an interesting question. I think Sterling. I think you and I were talking about this the other night. But how old were you when you started drinking, Tog?
How old was I? Shit. It's like, don't know. Hope I'm not being too quiet. My wife's asleep, so I'm not trying to be too loud. So if I am, let me know. But 13, 12.
Yeah, I was 12. I remember.
Yeah, I was think I was 13 or 12. Started drinking. My brother was older than me, and he had our next door neighbor was about the same age as my brother, and my brother's about 2 years older, so he started about 15 or so. And at the same time, I met my neighbor. I had to wait like a whole kid year. I remember because I was too young to do all the stuff, and then because I was the following my big brother everywhere, I just kind of hung out with the wrong crowd because of him.
Same here.
But it was worthwhile, I guess. I mean, I get all my partying and all that shit done young, right? I'll still do it every now and then, like by myself. I don't really go out to clubs or anything like that. There's no, I'm a married man. I'm latched down. Ain't no reason to do all that. But yeah.
Yeah, that tends to either curb your partying or destroy your marriage, one or the other, right?
Yeah. I don't think my wife would care either way, but I don't want to go to that scene. I don't trust myself drunk. I hit some fucking hooch. I'd fucking smack some. Yeah, I'd get some there.
What do you mean she wouldn't care either way? What do you mean?
If I went out to like the club, she wouldn't go out to the club scene like that. She's not like that.
You can stay out all night and she wouldn't care. Come home, smell like booze.
Yeah, she wouldn't care. She's a good wife.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I always had the other end of it where like, well, okay, no, 2 out of 3, but most of my exes they would out party me, and I was the one who got fed up first, But then again, women, they come home with like 4 dudes, and you're like, this isn't okay. I would not get away with this.
We need way more than 4 dudes. We're like, give me like 6 or 7, or don't even come home.
I got lucky. Like even when I met my wife, it'd always be like her cousins or some shit coming over, and I drink with them. Mostly it was like brother's boyfriend would come over. He's one of my best friends, and we would drink and play like Yu-Gi-Oh, and that would be like the best shit in the world. Like just drinking and playing card games is like the best shit ever. So we would do that and all that. Then again, drinking's how I got my felony. So I try to stay away from drinking, but since I'm older now and I've got my experience with it, I'm like, fuck yeah, I got my handle. I'm good now. Hell yeah. It's 21. I had a real binging drinking problem. Yeah, probably almost as bad as Wild, but not as bad.
And what you got behind the wheel or some shit?
Oh yeah, I would be like the buzz driver where I can gauge where I'm too drunk to drive. To where I'm running the buzz, I'll ride the buzz. I wouldn't care. If I was at a certain limit and I knew it was at a limit, I wouldn't drive like at all. You wouldn't fucking be able to convince me to drive if I thought I was past a limit where I couldn't. But if I thought I could drive, fuck yeah, fuck you, I'm driving. You try to fucking stop me, and I'm gonna fucking throw you down to the ground.
That's funny. 21. See, I was the opposite. Like 21, I was the designated driver. I was the sober one, bringing people home from shows and stuff. Because they were like, yeah, this dude, had one beer at 8 o'clock. It's now like 1 a.m. He's had, a bunch of water and some food and a rock star, and he's good to go. The rest of the group's all plowed. And I was like, okay, 31. I almost killed myself like twice. Luckily, there was nobody else involved, but I like wrecked my car, fucked myself all up, like, and that was what it was like. No, I'm good. I've only had a couple, but
Right. Shit, you said fucking Rockstar. That took me back to goddamn high school. Damn, I
Right.
haven't drank those since forever. Fuck.
I was pretty careful with that drinking and driving stuff, like, but I was kind of like lucky to where I lived in a city where you didn't necessarily like you could walk to all the bars. Like I lived in the downtown.
Oh, like bar hopping and shit. Yeah.
Yeah, I lived like right in a downtown type of environment, whether it was,
Oh, nice. Yeah.
you know what I mean. So there was really no,
Mhm.
which but I took it seriously too. You know what I mean? Like I paid extra to live downtown so that I didn't have to drive on Friday night, drive back or get an Uber. You know what I mean? So like there was really no excuse. Because this probably once or twice I drove drunk, and one time I left the strip club in Myrtle Beach. I left the strip club in Myrtle Beach blacked out, and woke up behind the wheel like in Georgetown, which is like an hour away. Driving down the highway, and just came to, and I was like, "Whoa!" And it's like one of those really scary moments.
Shit. Yeah.
I was like, "I'm not doing this again." I got lucky.
Yeah, that is lucky. Fuck, man. Fuck. Shit. Nah, the worst I ever fucking did was when I was still in high school. I was drinking under the age, and I was heading back to my then girlfriend. I guess she still technically is my girlfriend, right? Um, and we before we had kids, and they were complaining. It was in the middle of winter of all times too. They were complaining that I was too drunk, and I wanted to go get Taco Bell. And again, I was like, "No, you guys don't understand. I'm fine." And they got pissed off. They wouldn't. And it was my brother and my not then but now sister-in-law begging me not to go. I'm like, "Fuck you guys." So I ended up leaving, and I ended up going like the whole way to Chicago. And I believe like my mother, I can't remember if it was my mother that followed me all the way up there or like my brother. We're talking about like a 2.5 hour drive. They followed me up like to go back to my girlfriend's house because I was fucking fed up with them because they thought I wasn't safe enough to drive. But again, I made it the whole way fucking there, so I kind of proved my goddamn point, right? I was fucking good to drive. But
Yeah,
like
yeah,
I was going like fucking, I was flying the motherfucker. They were trying to struggle to fucking stay behind my ass.
you showed them. You showed them, Todd.
Yeah, I certainly did, right? Yeah.
Yo, who is Bryce in the comments? That shit's funny.
Yeah, Bryce has been coming by. Cool folks. Interesting. My advice to new parents is not to name the baby until you decide if you actually like it and want to keep it or not, because if you name it, you'll just get attached. Also, there's safe baby drop-offs at hospitals and fire stations don't have age limits. Just saying. Yes, I think we're Tog's pretty well. Sounds pretty secure. They're
I think what
like
Bryce is
over the
forgetting
6 month
is
mark.
like
So.
the kids you don't want, the kids you don't like, you simply just sell their organs on the black market, my dude. Fuck going and doing shit legal. Just make money off their organs and shit. Who the fuck needs to fucking do shit like that? Fuck, if you don't like the little motherfucker, just sell their shit. Fuck it. Right? I mean, you already don't like the little motherfucker. Like, that's fucking tame. Fire department, fuck
Yeah.
that shit. That's the Good Samaritan Act. Fuck that.
That's why
The
you
Trusty Ape channel does not necessarily condone all the views expressed here.
that's the he told me. He's like, that's why these little babies got 2 livers. Like they don't need both of them livers. And I was like, wait, do they though? Like, is that right? And he was like, yeah, that's right. I'm the trusty ape. I was like, well, that's true.
No, I think no, you only have the one liver.
That's what
You got a couple of kidneys, and you might be able to sell one of those if you haven't been, because if you've been drinking a lot or smoking a lot of pot, maybe then your kidney's probably no good here, like, or it's worth less, and so it's not even really worth selling.
And that was that was my position. But you were like, no, the babies need to earn their keep. Remember, ape?
Oh yeah, the babies. Yeah, well, I mean, no, I don't know if they need to earn their keep.
I think
Okay,
you called them freeloaders, right? Isn't that what you said?
I did. Yeah, I think I did say that. Yeah.
You were like, and they're all babbling. Like, what the hell are they even talking about? Remember?
Babies? Well, no,
Yeah.
unborn babies. They're not talking about anything. They're not even
Yeah.
breathing on their own.
I told you. Come on, ape. You remember?
I'm all no. I vaguely remember we may have had this conversation before. Yes, somewhere in here.
I
It's
was
coming
telling
back to me.
I was telling you, I was like, we just hit 8 billion in population, and
Oh,
I
did
don't,
we? Fuck.
huh?
It's crazy. I didn't know that.
Right?
That's new information.
Right? And Ape was like, I know, isn't it terrible? I was like, well, is it? And he was like, yeah. And you're like, kind of like last hired, first fired. Like that's what he was like. Let's adopt that, but not like a baby because we shouldn't be doing that because babies were his. Oh shit, babies were his target. I'll be right back. He was like,
Okay, yeah, you got a phone call. Okay,
Yeah.
so I don't want to. Yeah, it's not my first target. So I'm trying to remember
I would
in the
say
context of the conversation,
Ape.
if we're talking about like the
totally,
woman's right to choose and
I'm
who is more important in the scenario,
totally messing with you.
like whose autonomy is going to be violated, right? Like, and whose autonomy takes precedent here.
I'm just messing with you, man. I'll be right back. My piece.
I've done this one before. No.
It's really an oddball consideration. To me, it's a matter of consent. And that's what it breaks down to. It is the consent on the sex, right? And what I mean by that is, well, to a certain degree, to a certain age, everyone grows up knowing that when you fuck, you're gonna have a baby if that cum gets in that bun oven, right? If it gets all good and gooey in there, then yeah, there's a baby gonna come out from that. And at a certain point, you gotta fucking realize you're consenting to that shit, taking the full on risk, right? It's like signing up for the military. You might not necessarily see service, but it's still you still might see service, motherfucker. You might be out there. You didn't sign up for it to do it because it's quiet times, but Yeah, well, you're in the fucking front lines, man. You never know. That basic training was there for a reason, and fuck, looks like you didn't learn, and maybe you got deceived in it, and sometimes that happens. But then again, like I said, that goes into consent. So, and
So
then
wait,
the
wait, wait.
baby
So,
did the
but to be fair, with the
consently one, but
analogy
yeah.
though, you're like for a man, right? Because this applies to men specifically. Every time you blow your load, you should like it should be like you're shooting a gun. Is that kind of like where we're going
Fuck
with that one?
yes, dude. Like, goddamn. It's your fucking, that's the power of life. Like, fucking Johnny Cash right there. Like, fuck, right there. Like, fuck, for real.
See, I don't know though, because well, I mean, women aren't any less responsible, but yet they are more vulnerable in certain ways um, to being victimized sexually, right? And having a reproductive effect, I guess, from that victimization. So there's a difference in the dichotomy that's going on there. So we have to, in a sense, treat women's rights differently than men. And then why should we hold the men in this sense? Are we holding like because if the man's a rapist, you're not going to put him in charge of the baby. That doesn't even make sense. So then we're going backwards. We're still holding the woman accountable and making her deliver the baby.
Actually, that one
In
doesn't
that
make
in that
sense
extreme
either.
scenario.
Why would you not make the man accountable? Like, right? What if he's a rapist, but he's actually a good father? What the fuck? That's a fucked up thought, but still, like, what the fuck if that's the case?
Yeah, is that possible? It
Yeah,
might be,
right.
but then
Who
how
knows?
much
Yeah, that's a
time
fucked
should
up.
we invest into each individual in society to try to account for that?
Well, then, I guess that's to said, like every unwanted pregnancy with the father fights for the baby and he ends up keeping the baby if the man consider a rapist because the mom didn't want the fucking child in that sense, so she had to go through it because the dad wanted it. But then my argument goes into the whole baby thing. Like I guess as long as women have the right to choose, that's all that really fucking matters. Like at the end of the day, as long as
Well,
they
okay,
have the
so
right to
it
choose.
sounds like you and I are in agreement on that part. I don't
Yeah.
know. I think Sterling and I had a bit of a different conversation. I've addressed this topic a bit because I am for the right to choose, and I think that education is lacking there, and but yeah,
Yeah.
I don't, I think in any case, if there is a doubt whether the child is unwanted, um, you know, prior to the birth, there should be some consideration for that because I think it has psychological effects on the baby. Um, Not that they're like telepathically connected to the mother, but there's a different connection to the mother that I think can be detrimental to the fetus, and there's a lot of research and evidence pointing to that. But I don't have citations right now. I wasn't like prepared for debate, but
Right. I'm mostly pro-life, but definitely pro-choice. I'm both, in that strong agreement. The mother always has to have a choice, regardless. Even if she's willing to give up that right of motherhood, right? When she's knows she's unfit to be that mother, then she should give up that child and that responsibility, even before it, if it means consuming that life, of what might have be. What might have been. We all have that what might have been, and sometimes life is the cause of that what might have been, and that's just it's one of those hard pills to swallow, I think, but still, it's just an easy band-aid at the end of the day. At the
It's
same time,
actually misoprostol is a very small tablet to swallow, and it's usually as effective within 24 hours.
yeah, that's morning after is an easy way to go, and I've done that before. I mean, to say as somebody who's I've done well, my partners and I have done some what do you call it? What's the nice? I've had abortions,
Plan B,
I've had a
whatever.
couple,
Oh,
and I've still
Oh.
got a few kids. So it was like that was a responsible thing to do. Otherwise, I'd have like almost a dozen by now, probably. I don't know, something like that.
could have been a
But
millionaire off food stamp money.
right.
You could have been a different man right now. Who knows? Shit. Could have been Abraham right now with your own little like faction of people.
I
And
like
kids, that's what they don't tell you is that kids are power, man. In that sense, like fuck, you have enough kids, you get a business started. Fuck, every kid has nothing going on. Get that family business started. Hell yeah, man.
I like
That's where it's at.
I like the way you think, Todd.
Yeah.
Child labor, indoctrination into the family business. Yeah.
Fuck yeah.
Do
Making
you guys think
boots.
Islam is preferable for that type of lifestyle, or?
Honestly, I tend to view some of the Islamics as blessed because at least they have more order in their life than on the outside. It appears to me that they have more order and functional way of living than I ever fucking had. So in that regard, yeah, they at least had something. Some people in that religion have it going in that regard. So yeah, God bless them and everyone else who's like that. Fortunate situation.
You said is Islam more like conducive to what now? Ape?
To having a large litter of children, having a family business, maybe a wife or two, that work at the store, and raise the kids, that type of thing.
Well, yeah. If you can have more than one wife, yeah. If you can have multiple wives, obviously that puts you at an advantage. If the goal is like a big family, if that's what you mean, yeah.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
not
man.
sure if you can have more than one wife or if it's like polygamist or if you have like a wife and a concubine, but there's something in the scriptures there. I've heard that before, yeah.
There's an odd one in a Christian sense when it comes to wife and having multiple wives. It's included in like after your wife has died, but also if you seek like a polygamous relationship where you want more than one woman, as long as the second woman or third woman in pursuit is not married and hasn't already been married, then it's fair game because that's fair.
Whoa,
I,
In a
I also
sense,
think there's something there pertaining to like if you marry a woman but she can't conceive, you can have another woman who can conceive in her stead, basically, or something like that.
essentially, yeah.
wait, Todd. So you're saying like you? What do you say? You're saying you can have multiple wives or multiple partners? Where's this in?
Yeah,
Well,
multiple
it,
sexual partners, and who are
it goes in a
participating in the
sense. It
household.
goes in where Christ says it should be as like Adam and Eve in the beginning.
Uh,
So when he says it should be as, that leaves an opening where it's not necessarily the case. So
okay, go ahead.
that's where you don't necessarily know if there's grace there where you could have, in a sense of multiple wives in that regard and still be in line with God. It's not necessarily like who's one to judge what God in a sense allows, right? What a man is to keep. It may cause trouble, but yeah, after all, even if you go to the Old Testament with Abraham himself, again, like you said, with Abraham and Sarah, even if God told him that Sarah was going to conceive of him a child, right? To them both, mind you, Sarah and Abraham, that they would conceive a child. Sarah still told his dumb ass, "Hey, go fuck my handmaiden, so you can have that son, that kid you want." And then when that kid came, she's like, "Fuck! What the fuck did I do this to myself for? What the fuck?" See, because again, it goes into that turmoil. But again, Jacob was still given the promise and XYZ as you read, so on and so forth.
So only if it's like a matter of like having babies can you find this other partner? Is that right? Like if you're, is that what it comes to? I mean, you can't just have another partner if your wife is fertile and she's having babies for you, right?
Well, that's where the again, that's where the take it up to faith. I had to take it up to more research, but my understanding, I believe so. It doesn't matter if your second wife is further or not further. Not that I'm saying that I condone it, because again, as Christ did say, as it should be, one man, one woman, side by side, equal footing, not man above the wife, but man side by side with the wife, which is why we're both, you know, equal. That goes into the whole symbology of the woman coming from the rib of man, not from anywhere else, but from the side, because we're equal.
Got you.
But he did say that women should not preach the gospel, right? Should not speak in temples, something like that.
What was that, Paul?
I don't know if that was Paul or Jesus. I thought it was Jesus, but maybe I was wrong there.
I have no idea. I can't remember. I would say I know something akin to that. It has something to do with some certain type of priestess, in the sense when it comes to Greeks. There would be priestess that would fuck the shit out of you in order for, be with our religion. No, yeah, fuck it, they're fucking the shit out of you. I'm pretty sure you might be like, oh fuck yeah, I'll
Yeah.
do whatever the fuck you say, baby. Yeah,
I
hell
saw
yeah.
a softcore porno movie like that. Yeah.
So it's kind of like that whole Jezebel thing. Like, you gotta watch out for those women who will
Oh yeah.
in that sexual sense. It's not talking about, because again, if that's the case, if it's talking about a woman couldn't teach anything, how is a fucking mother gonna teach her fucking kid anything? If she can't teach anything, and she's supposed to be this big part of the household and the husband side, how the fuck is she gonna help her husband out if she can't teach him anything at all?
Well, I don't know. It's been a long time, but I don't think it was about against teaching it at home. I think it was about being in like leadership positions and teaching in the church, if I'm not mistaken. But I'm sure we could Google it.
Right, by all means, feel free to. I'm fucking too drunk and I don't give two shits.
That's just one interpretation. Yeah. I mean, yeah, we could all be wrong.
Fuck, I hope I'm wrong. I hope at least there's a Jesus Christ and all that, right? But if I'm wrong, fuck yeah, that's more power to me.
And it's definitely up to interpretation. I mean, I don't know the exact quote, obviously, but like, like I was a Southern Baptist growing up, and they took it very seriously. Like, a woman couldn't be a deacon, a woman couldn't be a preacher for sure, couldn't even be a deacon.
Okay.
Now, in like, for example, in like the Methodist Church, that's not the case. I think there's like Methodist churches and Presbyterians who interpret it differently.
Right. I guess it's really hard to determine. Go ahead, Abe.
No, you first.
I was gonna say, well, thank you. I was gonna say it's really it's hard to determine. Depends on one study of the religion and the culture and all that history and what it all means. And if they don't have that, and all they have is that local, what they grew up with, and if what they grew up with isn't sound to what we know through at least academia, because that seems to be the only shining truth. But if it isn't, then again, that's what we lead to the spirit. Most likely, again, we have to understand the past in order to get to the future. That seems to be the going theme of anything, is to learn where you came from to know where you're going to any scene. But what the fuck do I know? It's that context, right?
On a side note, I was just going to say that the Methpresbyterians are holding services Sunday through Sunday from 10 to 2. If anyone caught that.
I've been up for a while. I was trying to process it.
Nope, I didn't get it.
Oh, I was making a joke at the expense of drug addicts. I'm sorry. Because Sterling, so Sterling said Methodists and Presbyterians, and I was like Methpresbyterians, Sunday through Sunday, 7 days a week, 10 to 2, which is signal for the it's a code for well, it's actually military code for slicing the pie, but it's also a reference to rolling a meth pipe. So yeah, I don't know. It's just I don't know. It just came to my mind.
I'm so glad that you had a stream.
Hey, me too.
Yeah, I was literally fucking like bored. I was like, what the fuck am I gonna do? I literally came home at like, I think midnight, and I was sitting here for a while. I'm just like, no one's live right now. I'm like, I don't want to go live because of the whole, Mr. Lizard thing, and I don't know everyone's how they feel about that. It seems like everyone's still upset. I'm like, whatever, that's fine. But
I have no knowledge of this event. What? Tell us about the drama.
The drama.
Go ahead.
Or you don't have to. Actually,
No,
just
no. I just I'm drunk, tired. I've fucking been drinking, so I have to use my brain. So my drunk brains hasn't been used in a while. So it's like, what the fuck is he talking about? Oh yeah. So I guess Mr. Lizard is conniving, cunning, and thriving as he is, has put not necessarily a hit, but a notice on some of the rhetoric, I will say, that William Freeman has displayed, and perhaps more than one people in the community, where says some things about Aryan nationism that might be racist, seen as racist to some degree, and I hosted it, so it seems like there's been some backlash to me as well for hosting his ideologies and all that. So
for hosting William Freeman.
no, Lizard.
Oh,
Reverse, yeah.
Well, and I haven't heard about this backlash, but are they mad at you for hosting it, or are they mad because of some of the comments you made yourself? Because you had some hot takes on that one, Doc.
Perhaps some like is most the only hot take I ever gave, in all honesty, was if I put myself in the shoes of William Freeman into what I see in some of the things, I would have to say, yeah, it's racist. But that's from my own subjective understanding of what racism is. It may not be the same, it may not be the accurate to others. So that's my saving grace. Is that I'm willing to accept that I might be wrong into what racism is, but to me, it definitely sees so. Even if in the matter of joking, there's still that hint of truth in that grain of a joke. That we all need to look out for.
Can we use a term rather than just racism? Can we say agitation? Right? It's using racial agitation.
That's a
or
good
hinting at something,
Yeah,
or
sure. That's better.
that is
Yeah.
presumed, right? So
You know what? I'm gonna actually, for stupid Lizard's sake, I'm gonna actually write that down for one of his notes thing.
agitation. No, it's a great point because but the reason we use the word racist or racist specifically, was because Mr. Lizard did. It was on his first slide. Is William racist at all, or is he racist, or not at all, basically? And so he was questioning it. Long story short, and it's been reviewed a bunch of times because William's a popular guy, I guess, and I had never seen it, but yeah. So we went through it, and it's honestly it's filled with a lot of errors. And Mr. Lizard noticed that, and I think he took it down last I heard, and he was going to correct it, maybe put it back up. But this was, I don't know, about a week ago. I'm not sure.
It's not necessarily. It goes into a matter of because again. I can't talk about it because I'm on a non-disclosure. Fuck.
Well, legally binding non-disclosure.
Not necessarily, but
About
by faith technically, and I take it seriously. I'm trying to get a way around it because I'm a devil, so let me find the loophole. I cannot say that certain things have been presented to me to where it might show a certain type of agenda to certain people that are involved. I don't necessarily know or may not know the whole details of these said things because again, it's not my show. I'm just the one who's
So you
helping
don't want to. You're
my
saying
fellow
you don't
Christian.
want to present misinformation, right? I mean, that's what
Right, I
you're saying.
can't. Yeah, I can't
Yeah.
necessarily say what Lizard's plans are, but I can say that he definitely, from what I've seen, has maybe or may not have something. Whether it's relevant or not, it's definitely something to look towards to. And the odd bit about it is, if anyone, to me, honestly, whether or not any person is guilty or not of anything is irrelevant because the whole point is to recognize racism and what it is so that in the future we can call it out as a species moving forward to recognize that humans together we are together because that's the main importance.
yeah.
And regardless of whatever cultural differences that we come from, our lifestyles and how we come up doesn't change the fact that we're still human and we all deserve the best way of living that is presented to us. And that's what I think matters out of I think Lizards and my message. If I have to tag my name along it, that's my message behind it. And I hope Lizard does a fantastic job of whatever the fuck he plans to fucking review that I may or may not be involved in by some way.
So let me interpret that for you, Abe. Tog is editing for Mr. Lizard because he had like some like little small like.
Well,
Sorry.
I can't say. I won't say. I can't. That's a bastardization because
Sure.
I can't say editing because I haven't edited anything, nor will I edit anything. The only thing I will give is if he shows me
Is
anything at
this?
all, is my opinion, and that's it.
I did not have sexual relations with that woman. I
Yeah,
cannot
like
confirm nor deny, but yeah, okay.
yeah. The only thing I can do is give my opinion on it, like, and that's it. Because I'm not. There's no video or anything like I'm controlling or. There's nothing physical is what I'm saying to like edit anything. I can't edit anything like in that physical sense. But only thing I can do is give a critique like I'm doing right now is give my what the fuck I think, right? And that's it. That's all I can do. And then
Yeah, I
whatever the
do
fuck,
that all the
whatever,
time. I just like
yeah,
watch
whatever the
other
product,
people's YouTube videos and I talk shit about it, or
yeah, whatever
whatever.
product
Yeah.
he fucking releases is what he releases. I have no control over that. I'm not involved in what he releases, right? That's it. The bottom line.
Interesting.
I'm just worried that people will think I'm involved in what he releases because that seems to be the
But are
case
you wait?
on what William reviewed, and
Why
that's
are
it.
you worried that people will think you're a racist? Is that your concern?
No.
Is-
Oh fuck no! I've definitely fucking admitted multiple times that I think I have racist tendencies. Like I think I fucking said that clear enough, and that I struggle with that, perhaps, as I think anyone who would have racism should admit to. It would only seem the logical step to do. I don't know, but yeah.
What I was questioning whether or not basically William Freeman was racist, among other things. He questioned it, right? But Todd, you're saying like, oh, people got mad because they think that I'm involved with Mr. Lizard. But to be fair, like your comments went went above that. You were like, yeah, he's racist and yeah, he has no integrity and stuff like that. Remember, right?
People often mistake my sarcasm for what I actually mean. My
Okay.
dude. I'm very sarcastic. Yeah, people can't tell. It's a sad thing.
Oh,
When I'm being very, very playful. William calls it passionate. But yeah, I call it sarcasm. And I get very sarcastic, and I guess you can call it memeing. In this sense, I meme. I troll, I guess, if that's the word. Where it's lightheartedness and there's not necessarily anything serious about it. Like when I said whatever you just said, my drunken relapse. Apologies. Can't remember what the last thing you said. I apologize.
Maybe there's a projection of what you think, how you think people will perceive you. Is that fair to say? Okay, this is the worst, stereotype somebody could use against me right now.
Me, no, definitely not. People can say whatever the fuck, as long as it's the truth is all that matters. To be honest,
I agree with that.
I don't really care. Like they could call me racist, and I'd laugh and probably agree with them because it's funny. Because let them fucking call me racist. Sure, if I am racist, then I should look out for that. But other than that, yeah, sure, go along with it. Fuck yeah, I'm racist. Why not? Let them fucking feed on it. If that's what they need from me, if I live in that much in their head, fuck it. It's probably worth it just that much because fuck, they need it. If that's the case, shit.
But Abe, just to clarify for you, and I might be wrong, and Todd can correct me, but it's not Todd's not worried about what they're going to call him per se. He's just worried about what Mr. Lizard might do and who he's going to make claims, and then that might mean that Todd is also making claims against that person. You see,
Right, that guilt by
Get some guilt by
association.
yeah.
That's what I'm worried about. It seems like that's technically already happened, but that's all right. I accept it because that's what happens when you stick up for somebody. Is it just you can't fucking please everyone, so to speak. So it depends on
Yeah,
whatever.
on some level, you get forced into alignment as long as you continue to consort with certain people, right? Like, there's no way out of that because other people are going to say, well, if you're friends with, so and
Right?
so,
Yeah.
then there's no way that you and I can be peaceful, even if we've had no personal disagreement.
Yeah. Right. Oh, fuck you if you talk to that person. Oh, okay. It's just how it is, and then that's it. What you gotta do with it? Well, okay. Because I know this person now. I'm the enemy. Well, then, if that's the case, but then again, it's probably well deserved in some sense, right? Because at that some point, are you understanding that person that's coming with you in that complaint and why you shouldn't hang out with that other person? Like, are you really seeing that problem, right? Like, what if Lizard is wrong? Which I again, the motherfucker is fucking tack. And that's the one thing that I hate about him is how
he's what?
brilliant he is. To seem to me, but I say that from a simpleton perspective. Right?
I think he means to say very sharp. He said attack, right? Is that what he
Yeah,
said?
he's sharp. Yeah, the fucking kid is sharp.
Okay.
How sharp? I don't know. Again, I'm not that fucking. I'm a fucking dull stick. He's a fucking work of metal. What does a fucking stick understand of metal? I don't know. And that's just my opinion.
Do we see the flaws in the people we
Yeah,
like or
exactly.
admire?
Yeah.
If you're a good friend, yeah, and yeah, because that's the type of
So
friend I want. The type of friend I would like to be is like I'll come straight to you and be like, "Hey, look, what did you say? Like that was crazy. Like, well, you're talking crazy. What are you doing? You know." But it can get complicated when you admire that person. And Tog is in a unique position to where he's the host of a channel, and Mr. Lizard is his friend, but he doesn't necessarily agree with them, but he doesn't want everybody piling on him. Like I get it. I think I get it.
well, necessarily, I actually do agree with Lizard because he actually agrees that William Freeman isn't a racist. So I agree with that in that sense. That I don't think William is racist because I don't know any better. But if I was in his shoes, I would say it's racist. But that's me, subjectively. But I can't say that, right?
I
That's
would just say
unfair. It's cheating.
I have not heard William make any overtly racist remarks around me that I know of, and the raccoon avatar has been around for a long time. But I could be jaded in that sense. I have not been in all the open rooms to really know everything all the statements he's made, right? Like, but
No, no,
I
no.
know that he's also been changing his views a lot. And when I see somebody who keeps progressively changing their
No,
views,
no.
it tells me that
I,
they're honestly engaged in like conversations, right? Because if you don't express some consent to alternative points of views, then you're not really listening to what other people are saying, right? Like,
right, yeah.
so I don't know. That's the way I've looked at it, but
I would say on the sense for Mr. Lizard, the issue was never the raccoon imagery. Because if it was, we would have never. Because again, there's video evidence of Mr. Lizard switching to the raccoon image himself. So if the raccoon image itself was racist, why would Mr. Lizard himself switch to a raccoon image, right? Again, it's that guilt by association. He wouldn't do it because he knows better.
but
Because
now
of
it's
everyone, because everyone knowing the situation of William Freeman, again, within the whole community of William Freeman, of people who actually know him and understand why. And again, I explained to him, and the only reason why Mr. Lizard knows about the whole raccoon imagery was because of me, and I can say that because it's true. I told him like, hey, we're apparently there's this thing going on for William where everyone's switching to the raccoon imagery, and I told Mr. Lizard that, and I had plenty of streams to show where Mr. Lizard switches to the raccoon imagery in support of that. So again, the imagery of the raccoon being racist is off the table. That's no longer an argument to be made because it's not about that. It's not about the image of the raccoon. It's strictly about other things besides that,
well,
in
yeah,
Mr. Lizard's
yeah.
point of view.
That's the idea. That's what I'm getting out of this, and I've seen a number of people doing this, and so it's just I'm not understanding where the argument. So, like, Halsey says, William argues that he judges culture, not race. And I am the same way. We can only make so many excuses for people maintaining bad cultural practices. William argues that he is a culturist, not a racist, and sort of in the same boat. We can only make so many. Is I was like, okay, rephrase this. Okay, the same
Okay,
statement
well,
almost. We only make so many excuses for so long about people choosing to maintain bad or harmful cultural practices. Like, okay, so that in and of itself could be like seen as a racist statement if we're talking
right.
about like, okay, But
There's
is it?
there's something that people don't know about, which is called cultural racism, where in a sense, cultural racism is where one defines that one's culture is better than all the other cultures, which goes into that cultural racism, which is the same thing as racism, and it kind of follows suits with racism. Is something it's hard to examine because even
Well,
within the United States, there are different walks of culture in one's life of living. There is no right or wrong way of cultural living, and that's the aspect of culture, is that you can't say objectively that this is the right way of living, because
well,
otherwise that
we
it
have a
it
miss.
it, it eliminates religion altogether, because otherwise you cannot say that there is all these religions within each culture, that and each one there's one right way within all these culture. It denies all those religions, and that's the problem. That's where the segregation starts.
There's a
I'm
problem
sorry,
in
go ahead.
language
This
here,
is your
though.
channel.
No, I appreciate it. I want to let you finish, but I want to go back. There's a problem in language here because when we're talking about culture versus race versus all these other things, and we're like, okay, so we live in a nation that is multicultural and ethnically diverse, right? So we need to account for all those factors before we start. So it's not like, okay, so to say that if you are a culturalist, you're not a racist. Well, those are kind of like two sides of the same thing, but you're not talking about. So I was having this conversation with somebody earlier who didn't quite understand. So there's a reason we don't call Black Americans African Americans anymore, because these people do not have ties to Africa, right? They are Americans. They've been here for many, many generations, right? They have dark skin, right? But they have no tie to the nation of Africa other than some distant ancestry, right? And then you have like African immigrants who are here now, and you need to differentiate between those two people. And there is a cultural difference between those people because one comes from the African culture and one comes from the American culture, but they happen to
Right.
be black, right? And you understand the difference between those two
Hell
groups of
fucking
people.
yes, amen, dude. Fucking amen. I love that shit. Yes.
Yeah, and I think
That is my jive. Sorry,
yeah.
Sterling.
No, you're fine. I think most people understand that. And like one example that in the news was Barack Obama. A lot of black people in the South, where I'm from, don't see him as an equal because, well, his white mama raised him in Kansas, but also his dad was literally African, right? So it's not the same as someone whose ancestors came here through the slavery, right? It's different. The cultures are different, and I think we would all recognize that. And
Right.
I'm not good with these terms, but in Halsey, she explains things so well, but she's so smart with her words and stuff. I,
Amen.
I don't know if I'm rephrasing it or saying something completely different, but what I would say is that, like, it's very simple. William Freeman is a provocateur. He will say things to provoke, and he likes it. He likes to see who's going to react, right? Because he considers those people to be triggered bitches, and he likes to expose them. So he will say certain things to you, to me, to them, to us. He'll say all kinds of
Oh.
things, but I'm from where I
Well,
from where I sit. He's just a provocateur. This is a far cry from a racist. You know what I mean?
provocative, perhaps. I think so, yeah. I mean, who isn't provocative? I mean, to be honest, who the fuck isn't? Who the fuck really?
social justice warriors, this woke crowd who's
Well, yeah. Anytime you bring this shit up, it's gonna be provocative. It's like
Right.
and I don't want to
It
go off
does,
on a
right.
total tangent there, but I want to make sure it's like okay, I assume we're all reasonably educated. They're totally into the fucking weeds on this one, but I think we have some responsibility as Americans to understand the way that past cultural practices affect the way that people react to things today. And so, even though,
Well,
we're,
let me,
way
I wanted,
more,
I wanted to ask you
we're,
this,
we're
if
way
you could.
more, balanced than we used to be, we still have progress to make. And it's like, that's part of being a land of revolution. That's the way I see the U.S., and that's why I always see it an important endeavor is to continue, fighting for progress and revolution, and
Right.
that's kind of how we're founded and what we're built on.
That was well said, yeah.
Yeah, and I was just basically trying to just give you a rundown of the whole I think that pretty much sums it up, right, Todd? The whole lizard situation, what we were discussing.
Yeah, and well, I can't speak for Lizard, so I'll say that. I can't speak for him. So whatever the fuck he comes up with is what he comes up with. I have no control over that.
Sure. Yeah, but pretty much that's a pretty fair recap for like someone who doesn't know anything about the whole situation. I think we pretty much recapped it.
Well, just watch his video if you really want to know what he has to say about it. And because that's all you can do is watch his video.
I thought you took it
And
down.
his upcoming one, because he's gonna make one. At least that's what he said. And if he doesn't make one, well then he had nothing against William at all. And then he was a little bitch, and then he had nothing at all, and he was in the wrong. And then I can hold that over his head and go, ha ha ha, as the mean friend. I'm not his best friend, but I'll be the mean friend that does that to him. And be like, ha ha ha, you were wrong. So that's about it.
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. I've always had good conversations with William Freeman here. I've never, so I've seen it get dicey on other channels, but that's only, the similar reaction shit you get on other channels where you're just like, oh, these guys are just fucking sparring intellectually now. And it's like, okay, I see where this is going. But, I don't take anything personal out of it. Like when I watch William's content, I don't see any, hateful type of rhetoric in there that alarms me. Like because I do cover that shit. I watch neo-Nazis and these types of people for years. So,
See,
I kind of
Kyle.
watch the cues.
Yeah.
So
Right? Yeah. Yeah, that's why I can't say the raccoon imagery itself is racist. Because as I told Mr. Lizard, he knows that there are some circles that I am involved in that are very racist. And that's upsetting to some people, but I'm involved in that to know what in the mind of fucking racist, what they think. Because the more you understand a racist and what they think, the more you can combat them to understand what they have wrong. What they don't get is the whole point of it. You have to suffer that understanding. At least to me, that way. I had to understand the stupid mindset of the stupid fucking people that have to suffer. But I suffer with them.
I think to your point also, as you said at the beginning of the stream, like everybody suffers from some racial bias. It's not, it's not something that's easily overcome. You have to try to consciously account for it, because it's wired into us as human beings. And
It is.
we just have to recognize that and kind of move forward from there. It's impossible to really surmount entirely.
The one thing we all can connect as a race is honestly our suffering. And that's the one thing we can connect to is suffering. So as long as we keep talking about our difficulties in life and what we struggle with, perhaps that might make the gapping point between the racism and everything else that we struggle with to understand people with disabilities and all that. The more they speak out, the more normal people in that sense who will consider themselves normal speak out on what they struggle with and perhaps what they've gone through. We can heal together as a society, and that would be beautiful because fuck yeah, let's understand each other. Let's that's the more. Why do you want to keep your fucking hurtful things hidden? You know, let them out. Let them fucking be. And if people fucking make fun of you for those bullshits, and then they're the weak ones because they're obviously in a place where they don't understand uh what it means like to be a decent human, and they got work to do for themselves. At least in my what's that called opinion, I believe. I'm pretty fucking toasty. Obviously,
In
I'm
my humble
sorry.
opinion, yes. No, no. Well said, though. I respect that. Sterling, do you have any? Do you have any responses to this? I want to make sure we get everybody in here because I don't know
Yeah,
when to
right.
say.
No, no. I think I pretty much said my part. Yeah, on that matter. Sure. Thank you.
Wait, did we really debate on abortion one time? Because I was like, I feel like I did remember that kind
You
of
know
almost
what?
that
I
a little
I
bit.
don't fucking mind going into abortion because I don't mind talking about it. To be honest, that's fucking a topic that I love talking about. As fucked up as that sounds.
I don't mind either. I would talk about it as well. But to answer your question, Abe, no, we didn't. I was just getting carried away on a little bit, a little shtick. I don't think we had that conversation. At least we certainly didn't debate it. I know that we might have brushed up against the subject matter, but I don't remember any sort of debate. That would have been boring. I would remember that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
animals. You
we
know
have
what the fucked up thing about it is people are animals, right?
I wrote a song about that one time. Ugly people have a built-in disadvantage, but we have no laws to protect them from discrimination. I feel personally attacked, yet they are discriminated against pretty consistently and in all areas of life. Yes,
I like
yes.
I like how you referred to them as
Ouch.
them and they. You know,
I
not
feel like that sometimes though. Like I don't know what it is. Like recently, I looked at myself in the mirror, and it's something weird. I don't like what I see. Is that do you guys relate as men when you look in the mirror and you don't like what you see in the mirror?
my whole life. Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much. I'm like, yeah, it's not optimal.
I don't know. Like there's some times where I look in the mirror and I feel like I'm looking at myself, but like I say earlier today I was looking in the mirror and I see my reflection and it's like I'm not looking at myself and like what the fuck am I looking at? Is that person that I'm looking at really me? Is that really who what I look like? And it's such a hard feeling to describe because earlier in the month I looked at myself in the mirror. I'm like, this is who I am, right? I accepted that. So like, why is it now
You have
I look at myself and I'm not me.
you have
It's
you have
such a perplexing thing.
you have body dysmorphia.
I don't know, right? I don't think so. I
I
say
just feel
no,
like
no.
I don't look like I'm like balanced. Like there's something like in my genes that's off or something. Like because like I'm like weirdly blended between my parents and like their body types. It's like okay, well I should be more muscular in this area and more whatever, and it's just like, oh no, didn't work out for me that way. And it's like my brothers and sisters, they're all kind of, uh in line with it, but I'm just
Right.
the odd one out. So it's like, yeah.
Maybe it has to do with my I don't know, hairstyle. But I feel like more mongoloid if anything else. It's kind of weird, like to put it into words.
You growing it out?
Not necessarily. My hair is growing long,
Yeah.
but it's something that I'm not used to. It's more in the sense of my face that's the change. But like a couple of weeks ago, it's the same face. So why is it appear so foreign to me? It's that oddity. Like there's something about it that I don't recognize, and I haven't. It comes and goes, and I haven't been able to figure it out. And I'm just curious and drunk enough to question it. Like, does anyone else suffer from this perplexity?
Go ahead, Abe.
I'm what was I supposed to say? I'm at a loss, but no.
His question was, does anyone else feel like that? You look in the mirror, you don't always recognize yourself. Sometimes you do, sometimes you don't. Yada yada.
Oh, recognizing myself. No, well, yeah, no, I mean, I know that I'm this dude, but that's why I've always had like the whole like Sam Harris locust in the head thing. Like I always thought I was like an actual alien or something. Like, so I always feel like there's some like other dude sitting behind the dude. But that's like a whole different thing. I don't know. Uh,
That's
and
janky. I may relate to not relate to that, but I get that. Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe spend some more time looking in the mirror. Get to know you. Get to know yourself. You won't be so surprised next time you
I'll
pass.
just end up popping pimples, man. That's all. No. No.
Yes. Yeah.
Right, that's it. Maybe I just need to shave more. I'm gonna do that. I'm just gonna shave, and maybe I'll look more like myself.
There you
Maybe
go.
that's it. Manscaping. 101.
Where did all these blackheads come from? Jesus Christ.
Right? Yeah, that's what it is.
Have you ever had a girlfriend or whatever that was really into that? Like I had this girl, like, I couldn't even pop my own pimples. Like she was finding them, way before I ever had a chance.
Oh, my mom was like that. Dude, I remember being a teenager and my mom would fucking bombard me and I'd be like, dude, get away from me. Like, what the fuck? Like, I have enough fucking problems.
Yeah,
Jesus Christ, how horrifying.
my mom was the same way, but only with pimples in your ear. Like she was obsessed with finding like a pimple in your ear, and then she would take one of those what do you call it, like a bobby pin or a clip or whatever, and she would take the like the little like the end of it, the where it's like the U shape of the bobby pin or whatever, and
Hmm.
she would scrape at your pimple in your ear, and it was like one of the most
Ouch.
it was yeah, one of the most painful things I've ever experienced, and she liked it. She liked it.
Ouch. That's evil. Maybe to some degree.
Sadism, I tell you. I've had long periods of depersonalization, derealization, so I'm not in touch with my body. It's like a separate thing most of the time that I have to remember needs specific care. And yeah, that's kind of how I feel. Like there's certain parts of my body I just like try to forget that they're there. Um, like that's just like a side thing from just not taking care of myself. In the past, it's just like, yeah, I just neglect my feet, my legs a lot, and I use them a lot too. So it's like that whole thing going on, and then yeah, I kind of know how that is.
You kind of know what.
Oh, I was relating to the comment there.
Mm-hmm.
Am I breaking up?
Oh no, I didn't hear the last thing you said.
Oh yeah. I said I know how it is. Also, I don't have a butt. No, I do, but it's just.
Dude,
But
like
that's a whole different thing.
I talked to a friend who's a plastic surgeon, and he was like, at the end of the day, people have to come to terms with the things you can fix, adjust, modify, and then the things you can't. You know what I mean? And like that's what it comes down to at the end of the day. And there's plenty of things that you can work on without getting bogged down in those things that you'll never be able to change, But it seems like those are things we like to get stuck on and focused on.
Yeah, I'm like, I know I can grow an ass, or maybe I could just have one implanted. I mean, which would be easier? Definitely the implants.
Definitely. Yeah, I know some plastic surgeons here in South America that can do that for like $600 because you can't be bothered going to the gym and doing deadlifts and squats for a year and getting in shape. You can't be bothered waking up early. It's gonna be cold and rainy some days. Like fuck that.
Yeah.
It's not
Artificial butt.
not art. No. This hooker who was over here the other night. She's like, it's not. It's not artificial. It's mine. Because what they'll do is they'll take. No, this is what this hooker told me. She's like, no, they take the fat out of my stomach and then they put it in my butt. So they will argue with you over that statement there, Halsey. And I know you pride yourself on being accurate, so they would contest that. Just want to let you know.
Oh goodness gracious. This is the oh no.
What's that?
Why is the rum always gone? I'll be holding a fundraiser from time. Oh yeah, Sunday to Sunday, 10 to 2. It's not for drugs though, it's for beer, I swear to God.
Right.
Beer is better than drugs any day of the week. No, sorry, I had to just do something there.
Are you good? Yeah. What? Yeah. How you been doing with the drinking and stuff? Meetings? What's that been like?
Well, I've got the once a week meeting, every other week with my therapist, and then pretty much going to work every day is my sobering experience. So, every day I'm like, oh shit, I gotta get up, I have to go to work. So that thing happens. So we do that.
Can't relate.
But yeah, I've definitely had some slips. Like this last weekend was pretty rough for me. So this weekend I have to get back on my shit, and I'm supposed to go visit with my kids, and I've got low funds and all that good stuff. So same old, same old. I'm just taking it like day by day. Like tomorrow, so I didn't even talk about this. I have a physical list of things I'm supposed to do tomorrow, including pricing a car battery, tube for my bike tire, going to the library to return the Wi-Fi hotspot, taking in my recycling. I have to call like 7 different people, so I'm probably not going to get all this done. But I have an actual list in front of me.
Yeah, that's good, man. The lists are great. They make me so much more efficient, and I love having like more than I can do on my list because I always just like start with the easy ones, like just cross off the. I'm gonna cross off the easy ones real quick. So I don't really mind if that way. I don't really mind if there's one or two things left on the list, especially like, I mean, you got a lot on your list. If you don't get all that, like you shouldn't beat yourself up. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's the way I figure. Like, it'll probably take me, at least a few days or, so to actually accomplish all these things. But if I can do, a couple at a time, actually cross something off the list, then you get a sense of success. Yeah, I mean, it's difficult. It's like trying to prioritize. So I got some bad news today.
Uh-oh.
This coming month, I have a court hearing coming up. They want to more than double my child support payments for the month, which is like pretty devastating. And I've got all these bill collectors coming after me, and I'm like, oh my goodness, what am I gonna do? And so
Wow.
so I'm like, yeah, all right, impending doom.
What?
And that's what I told the lady on the phone. Well, I guess I might as well just quit my job right now and bail out of what I'm doing here, because you guys are just gonna. And she was like, no, don't do that. Go into court and talk with the commissioner, because it's a commissioner out here, and like try to figure out a plan. And I'm like, okay. But like what the 2 years ago, I was almost paid up. I had like $40. They were like, your outstanding debt is paid. You have $40 left, which was negligible at the time. I was like, cool, I'm finally paid up in all this. And then I went out of work for like 8 months last year, and all of a sudden they're saying I'm thousands behind again. And I was like, yeah, that sucks. So
So I'm kind of clueless, so forgive me, but like, what can be you can go to jail for that, right? Like they can lock you up for that, or what? How's it work? Like if you're a year behind or something, like I don't know.
it's only if you're non-compliant. So it's like if I, basically if I there's certain standards. You have to be looking for a job and all that stuff, but they're not so bad on it as long as you're not working and not paying. That's what they're strict about. If you're making money and you're shirking them, then they will try to find a way to come after you. But if you're not making any money, then they're like, well, what are we going to do with this guy? Which is pretty much the way it works, which is what I told them though. Like, okay, well, technically, I can go to a doctor and just claim disability for whatever, like, and I'll get I'll get crap for money, but I can do that and just avoid you guys, or I can move to another state and play that whole game, because they don't really come after you too much there, unless you end up making a lot of money. So I'm like, okay, but I've been trying to pay into the system for all these years. So why, that's what I always end up coming in here and be like, I've always tried to work with you guys.
Right.
So why is it that every time I get a little bit under my belt, you come back after me? It's like, I'm not freaking Jeff Bezos or something over here. Like that's like, they want to more than double my payments after 3 years. And I'm like, I'm only making $2 an hour more than I was back then, and I'm working less hours. So that doesn't even make sense to me.
Yeah. So like, what precipitated that? Like inflation, or they heard you got a good job, or you started?
No, they said they have to do an annual review of the order, and I was like, okay, that's fine. Like, but I guess the other thing was that I moved, so my mail got returned. I was supposed to have gotten notice of this review several months ago, but they had a very old address of mine, so it got returned, and like 6 weeks ago or something, rather. And it got returned to them, and then I got a call and an email from the lady, so I talked to her today. It's like, okay.
Well,
So I updated the address and everything.
yeah.
But, basically the way it went down was they just did an assessment based on an income report from a couple months ago. And because they got no response from me, they just filed it, with this amount on it, which, like I said, it's more than my rent every month. It's my rent and a third or something like that, or my rent plus a quarter. And it's more than double what the original order was, what the previous order was, which, like I said, I was working more overtime hours and I was making $2 less an hour, so that didn't really add up to me.
No, that doesn't add up at all. And if this is supposed to be like some sort of annual review, then they should.
Yeah, they do them every 3 years. Just it's a state thing.
I mean, even every 3 years, you shouldn't be able to double someone's payment every 3 years. It's crazy.
Yeah, and it's not something. It didn't go up that much the last time, so I think it's because I didn't get the response form and stuff, and
Right.
so now I have to appeal it, which is just a whole other headache. But it's like, okay, cool. Just this whole, like I said, it was like this cloud over my head all of a sudden, and I was like, oh man, how am I gonna deal with this? So that's my deal this week, and like I said, trying to stick to my little regimen here, because now I have to get paperwork from the IRS and all these other people.
Sure.
Tog had to drop out, it looks like. Thanks
Saw
for
that.
coming by. Good talking to you. Watch out for those child support payments. No, I'm joking. No, I'm sure everything will go splendidly and swimmingly, or at least I hope so.
Oh, I guess we'll have to. I was waiting on Todd he said he wouldn't have that abortion discussion. So
No, yeah. Oh, that's
that's what
such a terrible. No, I know he's got thick skin. He'll be all right.
is it. Is it
My
terrible?
my my son's grandmother, may she rest in hell. No, she came to tell me when I was about 5 or 6 months pregnant with my son, or we were rather, and she came weeping to me at the door one day, and she said, "I just need you to know that it pains my heart that you won't convert to Catholicism." I said, "Why?" I said, "Because now my grandson has to die a sinner and burn in hell for all eternity." And I was like, "What?" He was like, "Yes, your son is going to burn in hell just like you." And I was like, "Are you serious?"
Thanks,
Like,
mom.
what?
Thanks, mom. Thanks, ma. Love you too, mom.
No, yeah. I was like, this is a fucking serious conversation right now. I had like a 15-minute conversation with this woman. She was in tears. And yeah, at the end of it, I was just like, I gotta walk the fuck away from this lady. And my ex was out there crying too and stuff. And, she's friggin' all swollen up, pregnant. And yeah, it was a super enriching experience. I'll never forget it. And then I ended up, being the last one who saw that woman while she was alive and identified her body.
Don't incriminate yourself, but yeah. And I like how she does the fate of your unborn child. Like she already knows the fate is destined to hell.
Yeah, no, she was old school. So she was because my ex and I weren't married and I hadn't converted. My kid was automatically a bastard. He had no chance, nothing. That's old school Catholic right there. That's the real Catholicism. If you don't know,
Right.
like people are always talking about weak Catholicism. That's not what they were. Those Mexican Catholics, they don't fuck around.
Mm.
The old Italian Catholics, they don't fuck around with that.
Hell no. Hell no. I brought up abortion to some girl I was dating a decade ago in South America. She was from Medellin, Colombia. And I was like, well, if that were to happen, I mean, I guess, or, I kind of threw it out as an option. And boy, oh boy, whoo, you should have seen the look on her.
The Baptist doctor who delivered me, he told my mom, he was like, Well, either you can have an abortion and kill yourself, or you can have the baby. You're both going to hell anyway. That's what he told her. So
And like my question would be like, how was he wrong? Like, was he wrong?
right.
Nah, it's fucked up.
People are fucked up, man.
They are. Yeah, they are. Yeah, they are. That's why I say, hey, we give the woman the right to choose. I'm not so keen on that. I mean, like, like sure, like I'm not worried about the baby's life. I'm just saying, like, let's not stop there. Like, let's take the mother too, because can we really trust her not to do this again? We don't have to track her down and murder her baby again. You know what I mean? Like, let's nip it in the bud. You know what I mean?
I feel like there is some conflict going on there, though, because you got the Christian nationalism, because really, they don't even care if these babies are going to hell anyway, as long as they can, like, put them into the war machine or whatever, corporate thing they got going, whatever's making them money, like make them all frickin' Walmart greeters. Who cares, right?
Sure.
Just breed these stupid little bastards out, fuck them, give more. We don't care how many people go to hell, because we already believe in this one. So, like, how much of it is just like that type of like mentality? Like they don't, they're almost like the real Satanists. Like they are doing the thing that they say the Satanists are doing, right?
In what way?
Like just pumping out babies, and they're like, well, fuck them if they don't come to Jesus. We'll just keep pumping out babies, like, 'cause they'll work for Walmart, but eventually they'll go to hell anyway, because they're not true, whatever believers, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
They
Mm-hmm.
didn't work high enough into the Walmart company chain and
Right.
become an assistant manager.
Right.
Or something. I don't know. Just spitballing there, but
Yeah, because they did play video games all the time.
yeah.
And everybody knows the Walton family is an equal opportunity, business, and they give everyone a fair chance. There's plenty of room to move up, and we all know that. So if you can't move up in the Walmart chain, really, like, I mean, what are you doing?
What are you doing with your life? I'm sorry, I gotta start doing that.
Said you started what?
Smoking a little ganja, right? Have you been smoking tonight, man?
Oh yeah, but it's probably about that time. Hold on, let me see what I got. Oh yeah. Here we go.
Somebody told me, a couple of people told me I should quit smoking pot, but I'm not sure about it yet. I'm on the fence.
I want you to, I would say, like, block these people, and delete their number immediately, but I don't think that goes far enough. I think we need to put them, we need to put them on a hit list on the dark web. These people should not be able to go around stating these opinions like this. Like, who are these people?
I'm actually not at liberty to say, but no. I mean, I hear what you're saying, and it makes sense to me. So I'm going to consider these options right now.
Yeah.
While I smoke some pot.
It makes a lot more sense than not smoking pot, right? I mean, like, you want to put them on a hit list on the dark web, or do you want to quit smoking pot? Like, you tell me.
I might be able to take him out myself. We'll see.
Well, I can't be bothered. I can't be bothered. You know what I mean? I'm too busy. I can't be bothered with that.
I wouldn't confess to something like that on the internet, but I'm just saying, I'm capable of it.
I think you did. Like, I obfuscated, like, I put the blame on the dark web Whereas you were like, nah, I'm gonna handle that shit myself. You see what I'm saying? Have you ever been on the dark web?
I think I was there once. That was back in the days of like fucking Net Zero or something. Yeah, that was it was Net Zero. Yeah, I'm pretty sure the feds still have a tap on me over that. But the Anarchist Cookbook, you can get that on your Obama phone for free.
Hell yeah. You're assuming I don't have it already on my Obama phone.
I actually still have that fucking phone in here somewhere. Or maybe it's at my other house now. I don't remember. I have a box full of old broken cell phones that still have fucking chips in them. Made sense at the time.
I get it. I'm rolling one right now. What do you roll? What do you roll with? What kind of papers or whatever?
This is my this one. I've been pushing this since I got it the other day. It's Mr. Zips.
Oh yeah.
Banana Cream Jealousy. Coming in at 27.42% THC. I got it for like $22, and it's pretty delicious.
$22 for how many grams?
What's up?
$22 for how many grams?
Oh, that's an 3.5 grams. Yeah, and they were pretty dense.
The weed here isn't really good. A lot of it's outdoor, like in South America. It's kind of hard to find like some really good, like medicinal strain type stuff. But the price is great. So like this was full. It was like half an ounce for how much was it? 200 pesos, which is like $40. Yeah, $40 for like 14 grams.
Oh, that's good. I usually get for very cheap or free from a buddy of mine who grows who I play music with, but I haven't seen him in a few weeks, so that's the only reason I've been going to the clubs for this stuff. It's nice to get a variety. Usually I'll go in and see what the pre-rolls are all about, but a lot of the farm stuff around here, um, when you go for the economy packs, is like it's pretty much standard. Like it's the same product every time, and it's not exceptional. So I like to get different flavors from the local growers, but oh, it's so expensive if you don't know somebody who's actually growing.
Yeah, like something you said just a minute ago, like blew my mind. You're like, sometimes I get my weed for free. And just being like on the East Coast, like South Carolina, my whole life, that never happened. You know what I mean? Like that's a for weed for free. What?
Yeah, exactly. And it's like, plus here we've got the tax and stuff. And then I think this last time I went in, I had to pay like $3 because I didn't have any cash. So it was on a credit card purchase or debit card purchase. And so I had to pay the fee on that too. So it was like, okay. But I had a $3 discount for, customer loyalty. So I used that, which was, like discounted the debit fee. So it was like, okay, cool, whatever. But, it's just always some shit like that. There's more money. And I'm like, because I remember the days, when I was a teenager, we'd pay like $50 for an eighth of weed, like what I'm getting now. Like I said, I got it like for like $22, or 25 with the debit card purchase. So technically, it's like half of what I used to pay on the streets. But I'll pay somebody for like
10 or 15 bucks for a similar eighth of weed on the street. I just don't, like I said, I don't know that person. I know the grower who will just, like I said, he'd sooner give me a half ounce of pot, but we just haven't seen each other. But I'm just not good at like going out and soliciting people like, on the streets for like, hey, you got a 20 sack? It's so awkward.
Oh, it sucks. It sucks. And like you're gonna get ripped off. You're gonna put yourself in danger. Especially like I'm not with that really, but when I moved down to South America, you got to make new contacts, and that's really where I put myself in jeopardy. Got ripped off, which isn't the worst deal. You know what I mean? And you continue to get ripped off until you find a better source, the plug. You know what I mean? But yeah, definitely some awkward situations occur in that process.
Absolutely. And you make the best friends of your lives or the worst enemies. However that goes down. All right. Well, yeah, fuck. Like it's going on almost 2 a.m. here. Did you want to interject there? I should probably call it a night soon, but I didn't want to cut you off.
Oh no, thanks for having me. It's a pleasure as always.
No, it's been fun, and thank you for coming, Sterling, and Tog, Halsey. That was the chat tonight. It looks
Oh
like we
no,
got a couple of
was
viewers
that
now. Oh,
was
Bryce Burchett. Yeah, I don't want to forget that guy. Mikey Famine, of course, was here at the beginning of the night. So cool. No, it's been cool.
cheers.
And
I'm out.
keep it real. I think there goes Sterling. Subscribe to Sterling if you can find his channel. Otherwise, I don't know, we'll do something. But Sterling comes by, a bit now, so that's cool because I always like his company. And I actually have to, go to bed. 1:49 a.m. here, and what I have? Oh yeah, so that's right. Okay, so make a plan, take action, be persistent. Today, tomorrow, and every other day. Battery, bike tire, library, recycle, check the mail, IRS, debt, paperwork, July 1st. Okay, that was the thing. And good night and good luck. And I I say the same thing every time, don't I? Do I not say the same thing every time? Much love, everybody. Be well and stay trusty.